Hello, everyone, and welcome to the small, probably very small Godot instance today. Uh, Not really because, it's near stuck at. Okay, well, technically, I'm stuck at some impossible things. Um, the whole canvas modulate situation is like. I probably need to. How's it called again? I would need to see how I set it up, or how I actually make a lighting system in 2D Godot. That would probably also help. But otherwise, I just don't know right now what to do. So, probably just working on cleaning some stuff up here. Like, for example, shooting works. I think we need at least a bit of sound. That would be nice. Hey, Vivek, how are you doing? It's going all right today. I would say it's a bit of a downer day actually. So yeah, basically. Wait a second. I'm looking at sound effects for like how tank cannon is shooting. Okay, that would be a bit overkill. Hmm. Hmm. Sorry. I'm just doing a little bit on my work here. And you know, in a few hours, there's like the Game Awards. So if you want to watch them while a bunch of idiots just clown on them, because I have a good feeling this year is going to be rancid. Like, opening night live was already like, wow, that was embarrassing and embarrassingly bad. Like, I think everyone who said this one was good and, the state of play was bad, either has no taste in video games or, just straight up is lying at that point because, yeah, that was a thing. I do not expect good things. So, I mean, here's the thing. I think 2 to 3 years ago. You know, I think the Game Awards were reaching a point where I myself literally stood there and would have kind of respected, at least to a degree, what they were doing. I know this is probably like a big thing to say, but I want to be usually very honest with what I see. And I do think for a lot of years, I would say that general selection of games for, awards were on point. The general winners were, I get it. Sometimes it's like, yeah, Baldur's Gate 3 basically won because, everyone just voted it up, even though I can critique so much about that game. Even though, there are objectively things about it that I like. This is probably the most annoying game to talk about because everyone agrees with the critiques, but it's then like, but I like it. And I'm like, listen, when it comes down to the characters, yeah, I enjoyed my time as well. Everyone did. Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh yeah, unless they
I think
broke like they did for me, and the fact that they're only written if you have the most vanilla normie taste ever, then they work. As soon as you deviate from the obviously pre-written path, you get problems. For example, Asterion was set up as some people will like him romantically because he's a bit more sexually written.
That's he's traumatized.
He's trauma coping. And I just wanted to be murder buddies with him.
Yeah, like the fact that there was no quote unquote like true friendship route with Asterion is just like the game expected you to be horny for Asterion. He's a Tumblr 6. I know. It's just one of those writing things. I would say they dropped the ball because I genuinely would think if there was a non-sexual route for Asterion, it would have meant more because it would mean that he could either through real affection heal or just through the fact that he finds a family because he kind of needs that. Either of those, he needs a family in some way or form, and it's kind of that just kind of sucks. They just I think you need to get the
Yeah.
I think you get to on the non-romantic is low-key taboo for modern CRPGs. That is generally kind of
all the advertisement they made about, look at Asterion, he's actually different, and that's a lesson for the people who approach him romantically. You can only approach him romantically.
Yeah.
Everything else is underdeveloped.
Or leads to quote-unquote the bad ending.
Yeah.
And it's just I do agree with you, Vivek. It is definitely, I feel it's definitely written in a way that most people just assume it, but they want to hide it. And there's an irony about the fact that I think when it comes to the whole romancing and NPC, that to a degree, BioWare still did it the best compared to most.
Can I ask, where's the Untersetzer?
It's in the center box. You just need to open it.
Center box.
It's like directly on the you will see it. I'd never put it back.
If you never put it back, it would be there.
No. It's if you sorry, just open the center door above the
Are you talking about kitchen cabinet?
In the kitchen cabinet. There's the kitchen cabinet left to the Dunstabzugshaube. Yeah.
You're right.
Honestly.
Thank you.
Hey, I would say you could to a degree, but also I feel there is a certain. I think there is. It's the same thing as with people saying I blame Call of Duty for the wave of games that shallowly imitated Call of Duty until Call of Duty did it itself. like, I do think BioWare still did it to a degree the best because, well, for example, the first Mass Effect was, yeah, they could have maybe, should have gone through with their, gay romances, but other topics. I think a good example is that, first of all, in BioWare games, you can solve their conflicts non-romantically. Also, you know what? It is not even that. It's probably the fairest thing to extend it, because I think also a big part why I think BioWare stuff works is they write characters. And listen, as much as I really like Shadowheart, again, this year, the universe just wanted me to like white-haired elf girls. I don't know why, but it just happened, okay? I also get the bun.
As much as you can say good things about Shadowheart's writing, she has the most NPC personality in the game because she literally becomes what you tell her to.
Yeah.
It just feels weird.
And it is, like, but it is absolutely fair to say that that I do think, as much as I think everyone has a character they like in Baldur's Gate 3, I do not want to see this kind of writing again in, either Divinity 3 or any other CRPG, because I'm very sorry, player sexual characters are bad. Basically, all of the characters you can romance in Baldur's Gate have no sexuality. They just like you as the player.
Yeah.
There is nothing. While I would say the thing I like about BioWare is, like, I think the closest they get to a BioWare character is Lae'zel. Because BioWare usually also had some romance options in that I have copies of PlayStation cast because of Cyberpunk. I probably don't know what you mean because I've not played Cyberpunk. But I would say what I like about BioWare games is at least they're like, they are characters. They don't just like you. They will, they might be gay, they might be bi, they might be heterosexual, but also, crucially, they always had some romance options that are just quote-unquote shit characters. They are not there, so you like them. Ties your gender to your voice in the character. Oh yeah, that is a horribly shitty a thing. I know a lot of people defend the game, and like I would say, the longer I knew about it, I think they probably changed a lot of stuff for the better in it. But like, this is one change they should have just done, especially with the expansion.
Like, I'm trying to think of a way where such a system is ever sensible.
It isn't.
And the only hypothetical scenario I can come up with is if you use charisma like in old D&D as like a first impression, and tie that to, okay, if your voice sounds stereotypically female, some people, depending on the society, assume your gender, but it isn't your gender.
Yeah, but it just sucks, kind of.
That would be like a thing that you could use to explore, for example, transness in different societies, etc. But the game obviously doesn't do that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I know. I mean, I will probably just for the sake of absolute fairness, it could very well be, considering that, they actually lost a lot of devs after Cyberpunk released, and the new ones seem to be genuine. Like, I think current CD Projekt Red seems to genuinely be made up of people with good intentions and, having the budget to do good things. So I'm very much interested in what they do next. The thing is just, I can genuinely see that the voice to gender thing was probably just an oversight, considering, they crunched to death. But again, they could have also fixed it. This is like the easiest fix to do. The easiest. It is so easy. Yeah. You know what? I'm just going to say it here again. It is baffling how much Saints Row 3 and 4 joked on all of these games and they have never gotten the message. I think that part of why it wasn't fixed is that they need to rewrite lines. That could be, but again, they have a big budget. They could have done that. It's not impossible, but yeah. I don't know, maybe that's gonna be in the director's cut edition at some point, and then yeah. But game dev inertia, I suppose. Yeah, there's always a big thing of like, fuck it, I'm downloading the hardcore tank sounds. Hello? Oh yeah. It's just, I'm going to be honest with you here. It is very funny to, again, which doesn't. Yeah, I think that is definitely the bigger problem, because like, might be that I would say, the devs probably do to a degree, but should I fix that, Chief? Still, I do think in the very end, and I'm just looking where I could cut stuff. Yeah, my point is there's a completely non-player sexual characters in the face of gender expression in games. Like, it feels bad that having masked voice makes you non-eligible for the lesbian romance and all that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's stupid. Yeah, it's... It is kind of amazing to think about the fact that this kind of stuff is still rare. Like, wait a second, I'm just doing save as MP3. There we go, Tank Blast. There we go. I mean, it definitely depends on the studio, and like, I'm going to be honest with you here. Again, this is why also I think a lot of people rightfully are very scared about the how's it called? The Sony takeover of EA, because shockingly their studios have been pretty good at that for the most time. Like, again, like, if we talk about if we just talk about stuff like who kind of has like the best character editor, that has been won by Sims 4 for ages. And I do think other games could do that as well. Like, it's not hard, but yeah, again, on the other hand, it's also just the whole writing thing. It is. It's just like, hey, do you want to have people who actually give a certain shit about writing trans or just LGBT characters in general, well, that was BioWare. Who has the best, who like has just hands down the best character editor in all of gaming? Sims 4. It's very interesting how that is just the case. But, yeah, I mean, hell, when it comes to character creation, quote unquote, and just like fucking Call of Duty, Black Ops Cold War, just you can just choose your pronouns there, and it's just like, oh, the '80s Cold War game is just better at that than most games. That was very hilarious. Yeah, you can be a they them agent for US. No, I mean
Very unrealistic by today's standards.
you know what? The irony is in the sense in context of the game, it actually makes also sense why you do that.
I know, but if you say nowadays this sentence for the USA, it's like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I will still say Cold War is probably the best, the last good Call of Duty campaign because it still does interesting things. In the sense that it recontextualizes stuff, and then it's like, oh yeah, okay. Also you can finish the game by just become Chevalier Dawn. I don't know. Can I spoil, by the way, a bit about the ending? So basically the whole plot of Cold War kind of comes together in the end because you kind of you're a new agent that gets recruited into the Black Ops group of the CIA, and you're hunting basically a Soviet group called, what are they called again? Basically Russian Cobra from G.I. Joe. Like, it was a bit trashy setup. Basically with the point of, oh hey, they have a nuke. Oh no. And then it turns out they don't just have a nuke, they have an American nuke. And everyone was like, why do you have an American nuke? Which then turns out that someone would say was like, yeah, so we placed nukes beneath every major European city in case World War III breaks out. And basically the protagonist already like, are you all fucking serious? So, yeah, it's kind of a shit show, the story. But basically what happens is that they kind of just want... It is very Cold War-y. And, you need to keep in mind, this is like at the very end that, that Russian group wants to... Basically, their plan is they want to reverse engineer the launch code, quote unquote, the activation codes, so they can just, nuke Europe. And because it's, American nukes, they can basically, like, well, Europe, America placed those nukes beneath you. Those nukes went off. And, maybe you should rather work together with the Soviet Union, to prevent that, to basically end American cultural hegemony. And the counter argument is basically, yeah, because, basically the characters who are tasked with stopping this are like, they didn't know about it, and they're just like, yo, we know those are our nukes, but maybe we should prevent them going off. And then it turns out, well, you were an agent of that group. Like you're actually playing a Russian agent, and you were brainwashed. That's why there is a character creator. They basically created a character you basically create a character that fits you, so you can play the role better. And it's like, that's a nice rewrite of having a character creator. As in, like, you're supposed to be more comfortable doing this. Again, it's kind of funny how the Black Ops series is like literally the last standout of the Call of Duty series that really tried to do stuff. But hey, basically in the very end they come clean and they tell you, listen, we did that, but we kind of just want to Perseus, that was the group. They literally realized, like, listen, I know you're a Perseus agent, but like we genuinely just want to prevent millions dying. So do you help us? And then the game just lets you choose. Do you help them? Or do you quite literally send them to a false location, contact your Perseus bros, and then hunt and gun them all down, and then you can then you literally get the phone to give the order to nuke Europe to restore glorious Soviet Russia? That is an option you can just choose. You can literally just say, no, fuck you. I do not trust you. Go to hell. And you know what? Hydrogen bomb versus coming, baby. It's obviously not the canon ending, but I still love the fact that they just let you do it. It's like again, I do think it is obvious that a game about that basically goes to a degree about identity and the fact well, you've been, they're like basically we brainwashed you for the greater good, but like, how do you feel about that? And your option is to either say, I guess I understand it, or nuke the fucking Europe and end American hegemony of the world. Which is just, I cannot be mad about that. I literally cannot be mad about this. Anyway.
You know what I just remembered?
What?
Why didn't Karlach die in our playthrough?
There was something fake.
I don't know if it was fake or we skipped a trigger or something. But I remember it was very funny because we had a bug in the inn.
Mm-hmm.
And thus the person that would repair her self-destruction machine thingy.
Yeah.
Was dead. But she never died anyway. Like,
yeah, I think there was something, I don't know, I think in the end it also was just like, it actually didn't matter. So that was also kind of,
I don't know if
I don't think it actually mattered that there was a thing like that. But really funny when the moral decision is like, nuke millions of people or don't. Fun fact, if you don't nuke them, yes, you save millions of people, you get shot. Yeah, the guy that brainwashed you just shoots you. Yeah, Adler is like, it was a trolley problem all along. Yeah. Which I think why it is so funny, because like, don't die, millions are dead. Die, millions live. I mean, I get why Adler did it. They kind of introduced him because he's. Imagine if the guy that said, the moon landing was fake and Area 51 is real worked at the CIA.
More importantly, can you set off the bombs and kill yourself?
No.
Sad.
No.
No Kansai Drifter.
No Kansai Drifter. I'm very sorry. There's no multi-track drifting.
Yeah.
No multi-track drifting. But yeah, I think as much as I will say, I mean, I streamed through it. I do find it funny that Adler is like, then at least in 6, the only interesting thing they do with him is take him to the logical conclusion that, he's kind of like, he trusts nearly no one to the point that he's like, nah, there's a secret organization inside of the CIA and infiltrating the USA from the inside. And everyone's like, are you stupid? Oh, you're right. So, yeah. Anyway, 6 was okay still, but yeah. It was a trolley problem. So shoot bullets. Oh, I should do it here. Oh, actually, I should probably put it in here. Should just tank shot dot play. That should do it, I think. Let me just check it in game. In game, I say. Ah, there we go. It works. It sounds weird, but I guess it works. Yeah. No, I do think when it comes to character creation, I think the irony is that, again, the Saints Row series also just was ahead of everyone for over a decade now. And, like, I'm just gonna point it out. Saints Row 4, there are a lot of characters people like from Saints Row 2 and 3 there. And they basically, parodied on Mass Effect back in the day with basically the joke of, hey, all those major characters on the ship are, player sexual. And also, crucially, that this is kind of stupid. So you literally can just walk up to them, press a button, and they basically just say, wanna fuck? And you're like, hey, hell yeah, let's fuck, and then you fuck. That's Saints Row 4. That was a joke. It aged only better, considering, again, Baldur's Gate 3 is basically that. Which is... That's the thing. Saints Row 4 did this to basically say... to basically make a joke about it, how shallow this could be. And everyone just took it as, oh wait, this should be like that. No! They made the most outrageous version of it. Baldur's Gate is kind of fun if, say, you're not aiming for expecting romance. Honestly, the fact that I was able to smooth Shadowheart was the one thing that kept me going.
I specifically didn't try for romance, and that's the thing that pissed me off with Asterion.
I get you.
Because you couldn't.
Also, if you actually want to play D&D 5th edition and not some weird homebrew.
Yeah, that as well.
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, that's just... Again, I do think BioWare just did it better because if I wanted to romance someone in Dragon Age 2, I had to put in the work, gain some loyalty, gain some trust, then maybe do an advance at the right moment. Then you're like, okay, yeah, you know what? Maybe I can open up a bit towards you. And like, oh wow, that's some good writing right there. Huh. Everyone was thirsting for Morrigan, obviously. Yeah, I think the romance writing is just definitely the worst part about it, because in the very end, it's, I don't know. Listen, I'm not against romancing in video games. It's just there needs to be more than just, it is that it's the expected outcome and everything just gears towards it. It's just not good. Yeah. It is actually very fair. It is life or death, and you know what? At this point, I do think that a lot of CRPGs are just. Let me just put it bluntly. I do think most of them are too afraid to actually be low key enough to work. Like, I mean, if this was actually, business as usual, like, let's say, you're basically in a mercenary company and you would always go out on missions instead. And like, yeah, fighting is a thing, but, life and death is just your daily work. And, finding love is like one of the few minor things. That would be one thing. But also, like, I feel the problem that we have is that either you have a high quality game that, always wants to do the biggest high stakes end of the world scenarios, and then the other end is just Uvo Cozy Core. I basically just condense white colonialist ideas into an aesthetic and do a bit of Ghibli style over it, completely ignoring what Ghibli was about. I feel like there is a thing in the center missing. And I know probably a lot of people will say, well, that's the Atelier series. But to that I say, listen, even I know that they Yuri baited everyone, and that is a crime. It was about bad AI images, obviously. It is. God. Oh, I just. I so hate how Ghibli was just reduced to the aesthetic, honestly. And you know what I hate about it the most? That all of these people who try to ape after their aesthetic do not even do their aesthetic. Like, first of all, let's just ignore. They do the obvious thing, okay? They completely ignore that Studio Ghibli was always about societal issues, was always about heavy topics, was always about, personal grief or trauma or, environmentalism. There was always a heavier message about it. Like, even My Neighbor Totoro had deeper stuff going on. That was just a thing, it's Ghibli. They always made pretty deep movies in that regard. But also, one of the key things I will say that makes Studio Ghibli so interesting, in my opinion, is the fact that they are like one of the last bastions that train and use physical artwork as like they still draw and paint on paper. And that is something very, very specific, and also just there's a certain, crunchiness, depth in, this art. And I fucking hate the fact that they just get reduced to, well, bubbly faces and big cuts of meat in food scenes. And like, shut up. Go away. No. I hate the Ghibli filters because it's so obviously not Ghibli. It is such a shallow imitation. Will I rant more or actually work on my game? There is a lot of contrast, and a lot of the imitations do not have that. But also, they can do a lot of contrast because, again, they work with paper. And, paper, paint, and this physical artwork needs to have that to actually work with, the fact that they're basically just photographing images. So, like, things aiming at being, yeah. The Ghibli-like sphere is very shallow, I feel. And it's annoying that we even deal with that. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you here. I would probably like to have a game that is just about, you living in like a medieval or, low fantasy village somewhere out in the wilderness, and you help them, you're like, the strong person that is also trained at weaponry, and you help them, rebuild and maybe get caravans going between this, defeat the monsters on the ways and build up the economy again. And maybe you can actually date the girl that gives you some of the contracts, or you can just date people in the villages as long as they're like fully fleshed out characters and not just player sexual beings. Or maybe even if it's co-op, you could maybe even like get together and marry your girlfriend if she's playing with you. But you know what? Capcom doesn't have the spine to do that with Monster Hunter. You fucking knew what I was talking about. I got you was slapping your ass off. I did not see that coming, but actually so true. Yeah, no. Like, I'm going to, you know what? I don't think I will make a lot of progress here anyway. On Godot.
Today is not the best day for that.
Today is absolutely not the best day for that. But I just want to, you know what? I'm gonna pitch that more visually. Because let me just be clear here. I do think Capcom has been fumbling where Monster Hunter is going for a long time. And I'm just like, listen. Just like, imagine you're in Poker Village, and you actually see it physically grow. Like, actually have a bit of a town builder going on. Just a bit, just, you see how everything expands. that maybe the Smurfy expands, etc. That the hall gets bigger, and then you have and then you can date the shrine maidens again. 30 gazillion sales instantly.
Why would you want to break the heart of the shrine maidens?
I wouldn't want to break their hearts. Why?
The Bavarians, they live longer than you.
I know, but I don't know. Maybe live longer.
Maybe it's Monster Hunter. You're the one of the few Bavarian hunters.
But also I can tell you this: if you date a Bavarian girl, this should actually be like a very obvious,
concern.
It should be something to talk about. Yeah, it would actually make the whole romance line even more interesting because, yeah, you're basically dating someone who will outlive you. How do you both cope with that? It's, again, cowards. They rather just, oh, we have an open world. That doesn't work. That you don't even interact with. That made the whole lobby system shit. I just, honestly, if it were me, I'd just die those shit. You can solve that problem also like that, I guess.
Yeah.
Just say no. I mean, honestly, if I would date someone who I knew would outlive me by hundreds of years, I would generally tell them to find someone else. Because, we had our time and I cherish that and I am sad I can't spend more time with them, but I'd be happy for them to find someone else in life. They can and they should enjoy that. That will never invalidate the time, we spent together. So, but that's my personal idea. But yeah, I'm just saying, they are overlooking the idea that Capcom is just overlooking the fact that they basically nailed Cozy Village game because they had Cozy Village game with amazing, monster hunting action combat. And then they stopped having Cozy Village game after Portable Third
And good action combat.
Also to a degree true, yeah. And really, I do think if you want to actually have a new good Monster Hunter again, you need to have a cozy village. And life or death scenarios. It really is just a very appealing concept, honestly. Yeah. I mean, I think that is also my, I think this is also my reason why I do think the old Monster Hunter title stuck so much with people because, as much as people point towards the newer ones, having more mechanics and more monsters and flashier, and it's listen, I'm not saying the new Monster Hunters are bad, but the Wilds, yes, but we don't talk about that. I mean, in the sense that I think Monster Hunter tried to be more. It always tries to be more about the raw gameplay nowadays. The play investment is there, the seeing your impact on the world is there, the action is still there. Yeah, and I heard bad things about I mean, we might stream it soonish because there is an update coming out, but also I really do not think even with reworks and everything that they will fix the core issues of the game just being shockingly bland. I know some people keep defending it, but it's Wilds is a simple as fuck game. It's also easy. Literally easy. And I don't think that will change. I heard they pretty much entirely removed elemental affinities and whatnot. They just kind of made them irrelevant, more or less.
Element is definitely a weak playstyle you could go for.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that's a thing that Monster Hunter always had a kind of problem with, but I think the older games did it better because it was good enough that especially the small weapons that attack often benefited from element immensely,
Yeah.
while still having the option for people who just wanted to play hammer or greatsword to just build one weapon, focus on raw, and that was enough.
Yeah.
With starting with World at the latest, they tried to force using elemental weapons on everybody
Yeah.
for no good reason.
But the thing is, in Wild,
Wild's element is negligible.
it's negligible. Yeah, they just kind of, it's there, it works.
They overcorrected basically.
I think also by accident.
Probably
Definitely
by accident.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, another thing I want to point out about the whole, see your impact on the world. Old Monster Hunter titles had a farm. What you're seeing here is the Pocket Village farm that, slowly expanded. Like, for example, the pier. I think it has 3 stages it expands. In the beginning, it's just here where you can fish. There's no beehives. You only have one row of field, just one bush. You can't use the tree. You can't. You can only mine here. Only later you can mine upwards here with more, and you can throw bombs in here. There's more mushroom logs. You can send the cat out for adventures.
So things you unlock later.
Yeah, it's a place that grows. The more you play, and again, that was just removed. It's just gone. Why? But yeah, the thing is, the old Monster Hunter games just had this sense of place. Like, they really wanted to sell you are the village hunter, and your work is benefiting everyone in this small, isolated community. And that was great. That was genuinely fantastic. And basically, after they did 4, which, tried to be this caravan game, and I get it. They wanted to have a story. They wanted you to trek across the world, and it's good. But it never came back. The Palico farm in Generations is not even remotely comparable.
Yeah.
And I like Generations as a game. To the point that I do want to stream through it with Agonia next year, but we'll see when we get to that. But yeah, it is kind of oh, you know what? How was it called again in Portable Third? The village.
Oh, you asked the question.
Let me just. Yukumo. Okay, Yukumo might be. Okay, I like poker, and this is just my personal thing, but Yukumo might be the best village they've ever built.
Village not, but farm.
Farm and guild hall. Because first of all, this is the village. Yeah, it doesn't have the same vibe and such as poker, but it's good. It's pretty close, I would say. It has its strengths, just like it is dense, stuff is steaming. It still has this cozy feeling, while, different, completely different vibe. So, things it does great. First of all, this is the farm. The farm can expand immensely. Again, you can there's bugs to catch, like the bug catchers. There's like, oh yeah, your cats chop wood and train on it because you can like literally have an equipped Palico army in Yukumo. So like, I don't know.
And you can send them on adventures.
Yes.
On mines.
Yeah. And it's like, I just want to point this out. Yes, there's a cat character creator in Worlds and Wilds. That's cool. You have an army of cats on your farm and they go on adventures. Why is that not a feature that has been kept in the series? Question mark. Oh yeah, also the best feature ever, the gigantic roasting spit for you to grill 10 cat recta. Yeah. But yeah, you can grill 10 steaks at once.
And even better,
you get ash, which you can use as fertilizer. Did I say this is the best farm they ever did? Yep. And they never returned to it. After this, it was gone. Oh, wait, technically you had the one from the fishing village in Try Again.
Try didn't have the 10 things at once.
Yeah, they didn't have all the features of Yukumo Village, but basically a Try and 3 Ultimate still had a farm, but then they just gutted the farm. And yeah, it's just like kind of impressive. But you know what's even better? This is the guild hall. The guild hall is an onsen. You have, and you can unlock extra quests. There's an extra quest line that unlocks the higher you get in rank. That if you do those quests, the water gets better. Because the water is how much, health and stamina you get going, health and extra stamina you get going into a mission. What, you usually get from a meal that they just, put into the bathing water and made it, a visual upgrade that you get from doing extra quests. Oh gosh, jolly. Guild Hall expansion and playing. What a concept. But oh wait, there's more, because the perks you can get from eating, but those are now drinks that have extra quest lines. I don't know. Again, you had a Monster Hunter game with the best farm and guild hall leveling, and you never expanded on that. This is why I say Capcom are cowards. But also, like, how would you ever, like, if they actually, I can already see it, like, imagine if they actually went and basically made Portable Third again. I wonder if that players didn't care about it. I can tell you that people did very much care about the farm and such missing in 4. That was a thing. And also, Portable Third is universally so beloved. Like, there's a reason Rise is set in a Japanese village again, because Yukumo was so popular. Like, you need to keep in mind, Portable Third only released in Japan. It outsold every other title in the series before. This was the most popular title until World, by a long shot.
I think it's just something that a trend that Capcom had basically since after Portable Third.
Yeah.
To simplify and cut out more and more of the economy, and then just patch in band-aids.
Yeah, they kind of did that. I don't know why, but they just kept doing it, and it just kind of sucks. But yeah.
And you see it, World had it already,
Generations had it.
Generations had already, like, it had a relatively slow start economy-wise, especially if you wanted to use bowguns. Which wasn't a problem. Bowguns are strong enough. And then it's just like, hey, here's downloadable content, get a shitload of money. And they did
Yeah.
that with pretty much every game until they flooded you so much with shit you get from just going out once that they don't need to do it anymore. Like, I
Yeah.
remember when we streamed Freedom Unite, we actually went on gathering missions in the beginning.
Yeah.
Or we focused on gathering before hunting the monster.
And like we literally made some gathering armor just so we could, stock up on shit and run X. Like
For poker points.
yeah. That's it, everyone's like, oh, egg runs. Yeah, but egg runs were a thing in Monster Hunter. So
Yeah, stealing a carnivore egg and then running away with said egg from the monster was a great fantasy. They could have expanded on that. And they kind of did in World. But it wasn't that important there. And then they just dropped it.
yeah. It's just, I don't know, like there's this irony about, Iceborne having, I mean, literally, the Iceborne hub, they said it themselves was inspired by poker. So they know people like this, but they never made a new game with, basically doing all the stuff Poker Village did. Kamuro from Rise, Kamura, sorry, also very obviously inspired by Yukumo. But it also isn't Yukumo.
Yeah, first of all, it's blue.
You know what? I think they could have actually made it work, but the problem is that Kamura Village is just blandly designed a bit. It's like the thing is, first of all, yeah, you have the 3D camera so you can see where you run, but I think the biggest problem is that it's just like stretched out to left and right. Meanwhile, third is, you have only one camera and it funnels your view into it. So it feels dense always, even though,
It isn't.
it isn't that dense. There's, more in the back, but like, yeah, it just...
It conveyed the intended fantasy better. Nowadays, they don't have the technical limitations anymore, but they don't really try to.
It is kind of amazing to think about that this hub was... this gathering hall was to a degree over-designed. Which
There's
is...
a lot in there, but only visually.
Yeah, it's visually a lot in there, but it, if I think this is probably the best example, visually there's a lot going on, and that is fine. But the two things you can do here are you get dangos at the table, or you get quests.
And you sometimes speak with the old man on the Tetsukabra mini thing.
Sometimes. Meanwhile, if you go into the guild hall in Yukumo, like you have quests, you have extra quests, but all of this area that gives it the visual distinction has a gameplay purpose.
And gets visually upgraded.
So you feel more connection to it than this. Yeah. Design 101. If you actually integrate stuff gameplay-wise, people can actually build up a connection. Because...
Yeah, right now, the modern Monster Hunter villages are more like old-school Monster Hunter cities.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I find it so weird, but like, I feel like that is in a lot of current games that there's a lot of stuff visually going on, but, that actually had gameplay mechanics beforehand. And I don't know if people even really like that much. Anyway, you know what? How about that? I still go. We can still talk, and I do like some pew pew for an hour. Then we can still talk about game design and such. But I think I should stop saying this is a Godot stream.
Yeah.
Just so you know, we will have a small moment where we won't be here. as in like, we will go on a walk because we just have a walk every day that is just healthy. Yeah, this bitch is looking after her health. It's but we will start again at like 1 a.m. and then we will watch the Game Awards and clown a bit on them. So not so, but just reload the page. We will be right back.